going through Snapchat.
Take your time.
You're recording. You're evil. You're evil.
You just say something like super diabolical and like it ruins your future presidential campaign.
I'm gonna give out evil pizza to people here.
Evil pizza.
More like evil blunts.
Before we start this episode, let's both take a big swig of our Yoo-hoos, as we are known to do. Damn, that's gonna be good chocolate. Not milk, chocolate drink.
Chocolate drink.
But anyway, guys, welcome back to Chillcast. Today it's Alex and Alan recording.
Mm-hmm. Joey got in a horrible car accident.
Yeah,
it was his fault. He
asked someone for a grape while he was at a red light, and he wasn't paying attention, and some bad things happened afterwards. Yeah. But we'll send you updates. He's good though. Mm-hmm. They got plenty of grapes in the hospital. It's all good. And they're the red ones that he likes, even though they look more purple. I don't get that. But anyway, Alan, so you told me earlier you wanted to start this podcast off with a very important update.
Not really important. It's more terrifying. I think these people deserve to know who this person is.
Who is this person we have been talking about lately?
Right. So today we're grabbing good old dinner at our good old college, and then we started. My friend was about to play music on the speakers that they have at the thing. And then he was like, oh my gosh, they have Azealia Banks. And I'm like, isn't Azealia Banks that one person? And he's like, oh, there's so much more. And then like, I go away for a second and he pulls up a Wikipedia list of like controversies. Mm-hmm. And essentially she's a rapper. She's like 31 years old, been making music for like 10 years now.
What's her name again?
Azealia Banks.
Okay.
And she is downright the most insane person I've seen on the internet and has not... let me preface more. Most insane person on the internet who has not been punished for what they've done.
Like, when Colin was listing off like the stuff that she had done, she got no punishment for any of her punishment. Crimes.
There was a more lighter quote unquote from what I know is talking about the obscurity of about like words and pronouns, and it was a bit weird, a bit controversial. Mm-hmm. And then then I learned that she did some stuff with like a cat and a skull.
Yeah.
And my friend Colin loved the man so much, known him for like the last month. If you're listening to this, I really hope you are. If I post this, if I put the link, he told me if you look up any date, your birthday, you can find a controversy she did. So give me a date, Alex.
So what did she do on July 29th?
Okay, Azealia Banks, July 29th. July 29th. Okay. Azealia Banks wants people to pay for her lawsuit against disgusting Russell Crowe. That's not bad.
Well, how entitled is that though?
Like, can you pay for my lawsuit? Can you do it for me?
That's essentially what she's saying right now.
Let's look up June 20th. How about that?
Okay.
Nope, I did a typo. And it's you who got me acting up.
I know that these Yoo-hoos, they're packed with sewage, honestly, but they taste so darn good.
Right. Let's look up the one for my birthday.
Okay.
I did not type it right. Fuck it. Wait, 11th. Oh yeah, Azealia Banks acts from UK festival after racist rant at Zayn Malik.
Oh my gosh.
I forgot about that one.
Dude.
Even though it was like an hour ago.
I honestly think she's like an interdimensional imp. You know, she's not actually from this world. She's just created to cause chaos.
Yeah.
And like make people absolutely despise her so that there's like just hate in the world still, you know?
Like you cut her open and it's just a void. Yeah. You age like 40 years, you're like
she has the effect of of leaving the room. What was it? Of drinking from the wrong Holy Grail in the Indiana Jones movie. You ever seen that movie?
Nope.
The Last Crusade.
Mm-mm.
Dang. At the end of the movie, they're trying to find the I just said it. What's it called? The Holy Grail. Mm-hmm. And the bad guy of the film finds the wrong one because he assumes it's going to be this like super bejeweled like golden fancy looking
What we think
cup.
a holy grail is.
Yeah, and he takes a sip and he just devolves into this like skeleton creature and he dies. And his skin just starts like rotting in before your eyes.
That's what happens when you cut into Azalea Banks.
Yeah, when you get near her, you just start feeling yourself age mentally and physically.
Okay. And
Honestly, when I hear about her conquests on Earth, it makes me really depressed. Especially the whole thing about her boiling her cat.
are we allowed to say that?
Yeah, I can say that. It's not like we did it. She did it.
Yeah, but it's like it's a bit disturbing. But
It's really depressing. It makes me really sad.
Boiled her dead cat.
Yeah, the cat wasn't alive, but still, that's just disrespectful.
All right, and then here's the closet image. I don't know what she was posting an image from her closet for some reason, and this is the image.
That is absolutely filthy. I have no words for how disgusting that is. How do you get your closet that dirty?
Holy shit. Can I say this out loud?
Oh my gosh.
Am I allowed to say that on recording?
Yeah. So
real witches do real things. Azalea Banks shares bizarre video of herself cleaning feathers and blood from her closet after 3 years of sacrificing chickens.
oh my gosh, dude. That is just pure evil. How does this person really exist? Why is she not being reprimanded for anything?
It's like you brought this up. This isn't. Oh, I tapped the mic. Sorry. This isn't like a person who like does it for the fame or for anything.
Yeah.
This is just who she is.
She doesn't need to do this to get more press. She has enough press based off, I guess, her career.
Yeah, her rap. I don't know why under her music's pretty profane, because like only 3 songs were on the thing on the jukebox app, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like it keeps getting worse the more you look into it.
It's like that. You know that one person on Twitter who did unspeakable things with her dog?
Yeah.
Did she ever get reprimanded for that?
I don't think so.
What is it with people online who have like a following doing these things and they're not getting punished? Like they're not even getting recognized as like horrible people.
As like a threat to the safety of society.
It's like that's just like I would feel like PETA would be up in arms about all the things she's done, all the things she has done.
But like you do you, man.
Like, dude, how does she just like exist? Like, or she really is just like an imp or something.
This is something you create, like you imagine this person exists. Like never in a million years I would be able to create a person like this.
She sounds like a medieval like witch type character, you know? She's just like there in the story to be like absolute evil. It's like in the early folk tales of like that are told amongst like, you know, the human population of the world, like they always involved a distinct hero, a distinct villain. She's like the distinct villain. Like, you know, in early like Greek mythology and Roman mythology, they're like the bad guys are just all bad.
Like that witch from like Snow White, was it?
Snow White?
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
I was gonna say the Wicked Witch of the West, but
Maleficent, right?
Maleficent.
Yeah. It's funny. I didn't know her name until they came out with that live action movie, which is kind of depressing.
Not bad, Disney.
Not bad. Do you know that so what's the actress name?
Angelina Jolie.
Yeah. Did you know that when filming for the first one, I think there's 2, right?
Yeah, there's 2.
For when filming the first one, when she was filming the scenes where like young Snow White like encounters her, and she's like not scared of her, they had to replace the original young actress because the original young actress was actually afraid of her and couldn't do the scenes because she was so intimidating. So they had to get her actual daughter to film with her at in those scenes.
Pretty interesting. The only thing I know about Angelina Jolie is that she did drugs with Steve-O. That's it.
That's a pretty good achievement. Dang.
There's like marrying Brad Pitt. That as in acting in Maleficent. I don't know what she does. Like I know she's an actor, but what else has she acted in?
She was in this movie called Girl Interrupted, and that movie is absolutely terrible. It's supposed to be like a depiction of like, you know, people in psychiatric wards and like, you know, like people, you know, it's supposed to be a good representation of people with mental health issues, but it just fails at every turn.
So it's like the Dear Evan Hansen from the past,
Exactly.
where it's like it's trying to bring awareness to
It's trying to bring dialogue to like how people are treated and how people live in psychiatric wards and how mental health is not taken seriously, or or since it is, it's like at this point in time, because it was set in like the 60s, it's like or 70s, I can't remember. It's showing like, how they at this point people are starting to take mental health seriously, but they're just doing all the wrong treatments, like shock therapy and everything. And it's like, and with that aspect, they did showcase how poorly mental health was dealt with. But at the same time, when it comes to like actual dialogue about like mental health issues and getting help, it was just doing a terrible job. Mm-hmm. It's not a good movie. I was so frustrated by the end of it. The only good character in that movie is played by Whoopi Goldberg, and she's in it. She's not in it a lot. She doesn't have that many lines in comparison to the other characters. And yeah, so honestly, if they just release like the Whoopi cut where it's just Whoopi Goldberg,
just 3 minutes long,
only her scenes, I'd watch that movie all the time.
I'm looking into it. She has some roles. Yeah, she has a few roles, but like, Kung Fu Panda.
She was in Kung Fu Panda?
Huh?
Who did she voice in Kung Fu Panda? Wait, did she voice Tigress? I'm gonna guess.
Yeah, Tigress.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. Well, like, she has her own career. I don't know why we're talking about Angelina Jolie now.
Why are we talking about Angelina Jolie? Why are we talking about her? I don't know. How did we get from
Azealia Banks
to Angelina Jolie? They're not the same person. They're not even close to the same person. How did we get to Angelina Jolie?
Fuck.
That's so weird.
No, the recording, people would be like, man, these people are dumbasses.
That sounded like a Peter Griffin laugh.
Hey, Lois, remember the time that Azealia Banks killed
her chickens in their closet and sacrificed them? That sounds like something that people make up to slander people. That's not like, that's horrible that that's real.
You hear about that through passing. You don't witness it.
Oh, you know that girl? She
killed 3 chickens.
Killed 3 chickens. Yeah, no, that's horrible. Mm-hmm. But anyway, on a lighter note, I want you to tell me, in your honest opinion, whether you like Breaking Bad or Better Call Saul better.
Better Call Saul. It's so
go into that. Just go into that.
All right. So right now I'm rewatching Better Call Saul with I'm rewatching Better Call Saul with Alex and Joey, which will be a bit to watch with Joey because of the car crash. But we've been rewatching it recently, and it's like and like I was watching Breaking Bad a month ago because I was bored, and I just realized, but it kind of solidified my point of like Better Call Saul is a better show, in my opinion, because the writing is so much stronger, the comedy is so much stronger, in the serious moments, they can pack a punch.
I think the scene that really made me like break down and cry was the scene with Jonathan Banks as Mike, talking about how,
or Finger,
or Mr. Finger as people on the internet call him, about how he just basically sat there and did nothing while like basically all the cops around him were being super corrupt, and his son refused to be corrupt, but he like tried to edge him on to be a corrupt cop, and he wouldn't. What's the famous line?
I broke my boy.
Yeah, but I do like that episode though, because like in that episode, that very same episode, he gets revenge against the like 2 of the cops that were kind of like the corrupt cronies of the whole.
It was like you
department.
And like the entirety of Breaking Bad, I've never had like a moment where I'm like, holy crap, I'm gonna break down. I've had moments like at the end of Crawl Space where it's the Walter, please Walt, please scene, where I'm just panicking like what is gonna happen next. Like I'm like out of like my mind is rushing. But Better Call Saul has more of these moments where I'm like, this is hitting so hard. I feel sad. I feel so much empathy for these characters because throughout the entirety of Breaking Bad, Finger was never this person that was like a broken soul. He was just cool, quiet guy.
Yeah, he was just like, he's the fixer. He's sent to fix like all of the mishaps that happen in the crime organization. Like he just like, okay, he'll walk up to like somebody and it's like, okay, here's your story. When the lawyers ask you what happened, when the cops ask you what happened, just say this happened and you're gonna go here at this time. And he was just kind of like the Mr. Fix-It guy of Gus's like operation.
Fix it Felix,
if you will.
No, but it's like this is like episode 6. You're already getting hit with these punches, and then like same thing, episode 9. Is my good? Yeah.
Yeah.
Episode 9 where Jimmy figures out who's been screwing him over at this law firm. It's like one of the most like sincere scenes. It's like you feel so bad for this man who in Breaking Bad he was funny lawyer who just had a lot of sex. That's all he was, freaking Saul Goodman.
Yeah.
But in 10 episodes, I already feel and connect with this character so much. Especially episode 10, the finale of season 1 with Marco.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's like I never felt this emotion with this show. And when I was watching with Joey, he turned to me at the end of the season finale and he was like, the show's better than Breaking Bad already. I'm like, holy crap.
I think like you were saying, this I had a similar reaction to the scene where Walter just starts like laughing.
Mm-hmm.
It's the episode is called Crawl Space, right?
Yeah. Please,
He's like, where's the money? Skylar, where's the money? I give it to Ted. Ah! And he starts that moment stuck with me. Like it bore itself in my brain to where like I almost kind of had like a traumatic reaction to it because it's like such a like
visceral reaction.
Yeah, it was intense, and so I had never seen something like that in a show before. But Breaking I'm about to say Breaking Saul, but Better Call Saul just has more of those like significant moments that really stick with you in comparison. Like obviously, you can't sacrifice the source material. Breaking Bad was a pioneer. I keep doing plosives. A pioneer in television. It was definitely its own thing. It's very, very famous. It's why it's why there was even a spinoff. It brought our attention to these cool characters and these cool storylines. But I think with more time and with more funding, Better Call Saul was born and just had a better chance, at pushing the boundaries that it already had put, that Vince Gilligan had already pushed.
Vince Gilligan and Peter Gould explored with Breaking Bad what they could do, and then Better Call Saul, they
know what they can do and they can push it even further.
They knew what they could do. They knew what they had to test, and they had to write backwards. Yeah, and they're so good with their freaking. And I feel like it's a minimal school. I feel like, but not of them like incorporating like one-off lines from Breaking Bad into actual plot points of Better Call Saul.
When Saul Goodman in Breaking Bad is like, oh no, did Lalo send you? Was it Ignacio? At that point, the characters he was referencing, they're not real. They're just like, it's just a throwaway line to show that he gets into trouble all the time. But now they're full on cemented characters in the Breaking Bad universe.
They're the most, like with Lalo being the most terrifying person in the entire series. Exactly. And they're just able to like do this so much. Like, I think something, I don't know if it's well known, but at the end in like the midway point of season 5 of Breaking Bad, can I profound? Sorry. In the midway point of Breaking Bad, they're trying to figure out how to money launder. Yeah. And they get to this laser tag place called Laser Palace. And the guy who owns it, Danny the Laser Guy. And you know who Danny the Laser Guy is? Who? It's Price.
No way. Really?
It's Daniel, remember his name? Daniel Wormald?
I did not know that.
I think it was confirmed on the Better Call Saul Insider podcast or some interview.
That's crazy.
It's like it's like these small details. Like, who cares about Danny the Laser Tag Guy? But now you know that this character got incorporated into the timeline. He just isn't this one-off character in both shows.
He's supposed to be basically just a joke, really. And then I like that even joke characters are given the time of day in that show. It's like, oh my gosh. I think Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul is an example of, content, like a franchise being treated with respect. Because, with Disney just pumping out Marvel project after Marvel project and Star Wars project after Star Wars project, even though some of the projects are good and some of the people behind them, like right now, Star Wars Andor so far is actually pretty good, and they're putting some actual work into it, and some the writers actually care about the process. For the most part, they're just putting out too many projects at once, and they're not giving it respect, and they're not actually trying to make it successful and an interesting narrative. They're just checking the algorithm. Okay, what will make this famous? Like I was talking with She-Hulk. I was talking about She-Hulk, not talking with She-Hulk. I was talking about
You know She-Hulk? He goes here?
Yeah, she's my lawyer. But no, I was talking about She-Hulk with Reckon and Graham last podcast, and I was saying how She-Hulk is a prime example of people trying to make a show based off an algorithm. Like, okay, we need one previous Marvel character cameo. We need Megan Thee Stallion. We need
It's how to make a hit.
we need a couple other Marvel cameos. We need to break the fourth wall to ensure that we can protect ourselves from criticism by addressing criticism rather than fixing it. You know, that's like their solution. Is like, instead of trying to make the show better, let's just address the fact that we know people will criticize it and be in control of it, so to speak, rather than actually try to make a better show.
It's like how my friend said to one of my other friend's student films. He was like, oh, I don't think I could say it.
What?
I think I have to cut this part out.
What do you want to say?
I'll tell you later.
Here, I'll mute us real quick.
Wow, that sure was bad.
Yeah, we're back. Alan just read off a list of racial slurs just to see which one he liked better, but we'll address that later. We'll have an apology video. Wait a second. We didn't even have to say that.
We can cut this out.
Now that's just on the record. Crap, we shouldn't have said that. Alan, I'll cut that out. Trust me. Don't worry.
Like, yeah, we're talking about She-Hulk. Acknowledging your flaws doesn't mean you fix the issue.
Yeah,
it's the definition of like, wow, someone threw up in the sink.
Oh my gosh.
Someone should clean that. Someone should fix that.
Can I tell that story? Wait, no, I've already told that story.
Yeah.
I told that story to you on the podcast last time we were recording.
Yeah, it's like you acknowledge there's an issue, but you don't do anything about it.
It's like, it's the same thing with it's the whole old joke where it's like someone they did this joke in Smiling Friends where the devil's like addicted to vaping, and Charlie's like, see right there, you just, instead of addressing the situation, you just took a rip from your vape. You know, that's an instant you're in an instant dopamine cycle. And he was like, shut up, I can quit anytime I want. And it's like, saying that you can quit anytime you want does not mean that you actually have that control.
And saying that you know the issues in your show doesn't mean it's good writing.
Yeah.
Putting a Band-Aid over a broken arm.
Yeah. Your doctor. We got the Band-Aid for his broken tibia. You know, we should just be doctors. You know, because it's just easy.
Like, I can just watch it.
I've watched ER a couple of times. I know how to be a doctor.
I watched Grey's Anatomy.
It's like that. Yeah.
What's that one thing from psychology where you just learn from looking? Yeah, same thing applies with doctors.
Exactly. Like, you know, I know how to sew, so I know how to do stitches.
Yeah, I know how to read an EKG. I can tell you if you're living.
Yeah, I know if a heart rate is on or existing or not.
I know what good blood pressure is.
It's like I told you about that where I was talking with somebody at like some restaurant and like one of the employees was saying, yeah, you know, I haven't really taken any psych classes, but I'm basically an expert in psychology.
Source, trust me, dude, please.
please, I'll give you a cheeseburger.
Trust me,
please. No, I like it when people gatekeep knowledge. They act like they know so much when they don't.
Well, you know, knowledge costs money.
Knowledge does cost money.
It's like
so deep.
Just, I know psychology, a thing that has people spending $1,000 for a PhD. No, I read a few articles and watched a few YouTube videos.
Yeah, I've seen The Joker, 2019. I kind of know how to run a state hospital, a psych ward.
I know what they deal with. I could stop the Joker.
Yeah,
I could fix them.
Yeah, it's like Mark Wahlberg saying that if he was on the planes that hit the Twin Towers, he would have stopped 9/11.
Like he glides from all three, like it's a fucking action movie.
He probably lives in his mind. He probably thinks he's a protagonist. He's also the same man who like beat up like random old people on the street, and then he also has an exercise video where he like is checking out his sister, and it's very weird. JonTron did a video on that.
JonTron before he became a menace.
Is JonTron a menace?
I swear he is.
I know he said some like questionable things in the past, but I still watch his videos. Like he's not as bad as like other like as the rapper.
Yeah, Azealia Banks.
Yeah. He's done significantly less.
So back to Better Call Saul.
Back to Better Call Saul.
It's all started because of the day. Yeah, they just incorporate stuff better. And the funny. Okay, yeah, my mic. No way. And the funnier moments in the show are so much better. Like There's the scene in like episode 3 of Breaking Bad where he's like, "Well, Heil Hitler, bitch," which comes out of nowhere. And like I feel like in Better Call Saul, there's a bunch of more better incorporated, not better, but they're just more consistent with the bits.
Yeah, I think I just like seeing Jimmy dress up like Howard.
Mm-hmm.
That's some great cinematography right there.
Twice. And like we always talk about it. We talk like every 2 days we talk about the pimento cheese. I just spit in the mic. The pimento cheese scene.
Oh yeah, dude, pimento cheese. Apparently, it does age like wine.
And caviar of the South.
Yeah.
I think there's more funny bits. Like there's the toilet in season 1, episode 5. The one's like, "Oh, Chandler, you're so big. Give it to me, Chandler. Give it to me." Wow. Which is supposed to be a toilet to like help kids use the bathroom by giving reinforcement, but it just seems like a sex thing.
Ugh.
And then there's the episode starts off with this bit where Jimmy goes to like this guy who wants to secede from the United States.
Oh my gosh, I love that. That was hilarious.
He has like a bunch of skinned animals. This man is like born like eats, sleeps, and shits red, white, and blue.
Yeah, he like you can tell he like loved learning about the Civil War and history.
Yeah, and he's like, "I want to secede from the United States," which is already insane. And then he offers Jimmy $500,000, which sounds like a good deal. This man's broke. He lives in the back of a nail salon.
He's like, "Dude, I've made it. I don't even have to win this case. He's just gonna hire me as his permanent lawyer no matter what.
And then
I'm set for life."
And then he comes back with money that's called Ricky Bucks.
He realizes it's not even real.
It's
currency.
fake money. It's if I like Monopoly money. If it's only going to be valuable in his own country of his own estate.
Exactly. He hasn't even like it. It's so funny. That I remember that I can't speak. That scene stuck in my mind.
Mm-hmm.
It made me laugh.
Mm-hmm.
It's it got a good chuckle out of me.
Chuckle, the guy from Jimmy's brother.
Jimmy's brother, Chuckle, Mr. Chuckleson.
Yeah. Chuckle's the funniest man alive.
Exactly. Have you seen? You ever heard of Stacey Ryan?
Nope.
She's a musician on YouTube, and she had this like, I guess it would, like a TikTok challenge thing where she would sing part of a song and people would fill in like a couple bars, right?
I think I've seen this person actually. Never mind.
The song is like "Don't Text Me When You're Drunk." And someone edited the scene where Chuck is at the hearing or the trial, and he's like, "Oh, Jimmy's always got his hand in the
I am
the
not
cash drawer."
crazy. I am not crazy. I know he swapped those numbers. 1216, one after Magna Carta.
Yeah,
I just couldn't prove it.
And they synced it up to the song.
Yeah, I've seen. I love it so much.
So good.
Also, one thing. I don't want this to. No, by saying that's gonna make it sound like that. Never mind. I like how the Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul community has evolved from like, not evolved, but they've went from like slightly pretentious people, which I feel like I fall in that category, to the meme category.
Yeah, like people are just memeing the heck out of this show.
Yeah,
or both shows.
It like if you're listening to this, you probably know it, but like imagine having to show like the Minecraft Better Call Saul Breaking Bad memes to like a guy in 2008 who's just casually watching the show. How do you explain this to this man?
It Gen Z humor is something else.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's really funny that like half the people who make Breaking Bad memes have never actually seen the show.
I feel like they have.
There are a lot of people you can tell that they haven't because they'll like talk about characters. Like I don't know how to explain it. There are some videos where you can tell the person's watched it and because they have like a lot of footage they edited together. Or they make references, but then people who like are memeing on it, like you can tell like some like 14-year-old posted this like Walter White picture, and it's got
Walter White falling gif.
Yeah, and it's like me when I break bad. It's like you can tell they've never seen the show, and they're just like relying on a lot of memes to know what the show is.
I mean, all power to them.
Yeah,
it's like
they're part of a movement.
Yeah, you watch Breaking Bad, you become a different person, a better person.
Maybe not.
Maybe not.
Not really. You don't really do much.
You kind of
character
downgrade.
Growth. You gonna go downhill from there.
Yeah, you go down a pipeline, just like how we went through the pipeline of Azalea Banks today. What? Okay, I want to ask you this. I keep tapping the mic. Sorry. What are some weird pipelines you've been down? Like you look at one thing and you discover this whole other thing.
going down like an internet rabbit
Yeah, rabbit hole. I like the word pipeline more.
Pipeline rabbit hole. I don't know. I haven't been on one in a long time. I remember in high school I was on Wikipedia and I looked up like hungry, the country, not the adjective.
I'm so hungry.
Oh, hungry. We're not getting out of class. No, but and then I ended up at like I did like a wiki race. You know what wiki races are?
Like trying to go from one side, like going from like World War II to like Kanye West.
Yeah, and it's really funny how you can really just do that. Because I went from Hungary to, what was it? Like Boeing jetliners, airliners, big planes. And I went from like pumpkins to microwaves and stuff like that. You know, it's just funny how you can really just do that through Wikipedia. But that's basically the only form of going on an internet rabbit hole. Because like, well, I guess when I was first introduced to the internet, like when I was very little, and I would like get on like the family computer, and watch like cat videos and stuff, early YouTube. I'd go down a rabbit hole of like clicking the next suggested video, and it would go from like a cat video to this guy teaching you how to put like a pool filter in. I'm just watching it for no reason.
It's sensory videos at this point.
I think. Oh, speaking of just YouTube rabbit holes, do you have any like young relatives who like are like on like their like technology all the time, like iPads or?
Yeah, I had this little it makes it sound like he died. No, I have this little cousin. I haven't seen him in a bit, but yeah, he had his cocoa melon.
Oh, nice. My cousin, he's 5 right now, and at like the dinner table, or like at family dinners when we're all together, if he's like kind of misbehaving a little bit, people will just give him like a phone, and he'll just watch like content farm videos that are really they're like super creepy. It's like Spider-Man, Elsa, and Iron Man turning into Hot Wheel cars and having paint dumped on them, which turns them into Power Rangers rolling down a hill.
Sensory, but it's just sensory.
And then turning into the basketballs and bouncing around a court. It's just so weird. And like just seeing him, like his eyes are glued to the screen because it's the best thing he's ever seen because there's so many colors.
Have you not watched them?
I've seen a couple.
Yeah,
they're weird. They freak me out.
I haven't watched any of those, but one day I got my friends were talking about sensory videos, and I began watching some of them. I understand the appeal now. I understand why little 4-year-old Timmy loves watching Coco Melon and counting. There's just something so like mesmerizing about them.
Is it just because there's like very little thought?
Very little thought. Your brain can turn on. Yeah.
It's just like noise.
Yeah.
And I essentially do the same thing when I'm like working on homework or I'm sleeping. I'll put on something to kind of fall asleep to.
Yeah.
But even though I wouldn't compare what I'm watching to content farm stuff.
No, it's not even that. It's not even noise, actually. It's more the visuals, the colors, the amount happening. My brain is like, oh, I'm stimulated.
I like it when Spider-Man turns into a monster truck and then falls down a volcano.
You see, I'd be shitting on it right now, but I can't because I know I'd be like glued to the screen if I got put that like right now on your TV.
The entire time we're recording the podcast, I just put on a bunch of like content.
Like anytime
videos.
I go go on a tangent, you're like, and I'm like, oh
no. Every time we have like an argument, we're disagreeing with each other, I just put on that video and just turns your brain off, and you're like, so you agree with me, right? And you're like, It's like a brainwashing tool. And I honestly think, what if people are using these videos to like send subliminal messages to kids to like condition them to do things or something like that? Like it's like an actual brainwashing tool. I mean, that's a really dumb like r/something theory.
Yeah, that is like a stretch.
But I think about it. There have been things like that on the internet in the past where it's been used to like, I don't know, create like this, not a movement, but like a school of thought, basically, like to create like this sect of people.
QAnon.
Yeah, stuff like that.
Pizzagate. There's a lot of stuff.
Yeah. It's like, even going back to, early internet stuff where people would post like really scary images and like convince people that if they don't do these things, they'll get possessed or they'll get killed by this like demon, and then people start actually buying into it. Like the whole like thing with like the two girls in Slender Man.
Mm-hmm.
Like they actually stabbed their friend because they thought they would please Slender Man.
Mm-hmm.
That's insane. But it people making that little like making up that little like evil lore on the internet, it was enough to get people to like actually be violent, which is really scary.
Yeah, the plasticity of the brain is insane.
It is. It's crazy. But I'm not saying that like content farm videos of Spider-Man and Elsa are gonna turn people into crazy people. I'm just saying it's very easy to use people's entertainment to like kind of warp them.
Yeah.
Especially with like a rumor.
You're not trying to create like, oh, kids need to stop watching this. Freaking this so-and-so channel's the devil. No.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that it's interesting how powerful the internet can be in regards to controlling people.
Because like it's information, and information is like what usually is used for control. So if you're able to manipulate the source information when you're telling them, it's pretty easy, especially now.
Like I'm not about to just go on like a tirade. It's like, oh, the internet's biased. Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, of course.
Freaking
The internet's so biased. But it's like I'm not saying that like you have to doubt everything. I mean, obviously you don't trust everything you see on the internet, obviously, but like there are some things that are more glaringly obvious. Like it's more obvious that they're like it's misinformation.
the sinister element is more noticeable.
Yeah. It's like when you were little, what was like the first like big, I don't even know how to describe it, like internet phenomena that you experienced? Like I don't know how I need to think of a better way to ask that question. Like
you give your example and what you're trying to go with this, and I could probably bounce off.
Like I don't want to say a trend, but like maybe that's what the way
Talking Angela, stuff like that. Talking Angela.
What was that?
You don't know about Talking Angela?
No, what was that?
All right, this was like the era of like Talking Tom. You know what Talking Tom is, right?
The cat thing, yeah.
And Talking Ben. Run.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's this thing, this like spread of information. How did I not think of that? But it was this app where you could just talk to a cat. It was like female Talking Tom, essentially. She was girly, and her name was Talking Angela. And there was this rumor that was made up on the internet that she was looking at like her eyes. It was like people were spying on you through the app. Mm-hmm. And then there were like rumors of like people getting killed, like kids getting killed because of Talking Angela app, because some creepy guy was stalking. Like, go on your phone right now, look up Talking Angela camera or whatever, like spying on you. This was like a big thing. Like I remember my friend and I were like scared to our minds. Like he talked about he had nightmares about Talking Angela. Like it was covered on the news, and it was just made out of like some really dumb, cheesy like internet creepypasta. Like go on images.
Is Talking Tom a safe app?
Like it created like such distrust on Talking Angela, and I think they had to like there's like this image of like if you look into Talking Angela's eye, you can see the stalker, and it's like people fell for it. And it was like a big thing. Like I remember Telemundo was talking about this stuff.
Oh my gosh.
Mm-hmm. Like Univision, I think, was also talking about like these big Spanish like news outlets in here where we live.
But yeah, like that's a perfect example of what I was like asking about. Like, because the first thing that comes to mind is that like what was that like creepy like? Hold on, let me restart. Basically, somebody a long time ago had posted a video of this like Japanese horror movie prop, and it was like this like disgusting, scary like monster thing that like was like could like talk, and people filmed it and they called it like Momo.
Oh, Momo, yeah. This was like 4 years ago. I remember that.
Like, but like the footage was old, and then it became like a whole like thing, like a whole phenomenon where people were scared of it, or people were like supposedly like killing themselves over it or something like that. Like that's the kind of stuff is the stuff I'm talking about. But you basically, your example was Talking Angela, like,
yeah.
The weird effect that the internet has on people.
Yeah, it's like people were like scared. Like people were scared, not like mostly children probably. Same thing with like new sub generation talking Angela.
Like, I remember being terrified of Slender Man. You know?
Don't get me started on Slender Man. That 10 years ago, that scared the shit out of me for like 2 years straight.
You remember the
Like I could not sleep alone in a room. This is kind of TMI, but like I could not sleep alone in a room because I was like, what if Slender Man tries to kill me?
No, because it's pretty powerful. Like
This.
yeah. Oh my gosh! Please turn it off. Please. He just showed me a picture of Momo. But see, even just looking at it,
Yeah.
like I remember the genuine fear I had for that whole like thing, because there was enough like rumor surrounding this being that like scared the heck out of me to the point where even now I can't look at a picture of it without freaking out.
It's like, holy, there's definitely more examples. Like, this is just one of them. I know Smile Dog was a big one in the 2000s. You know Smile Dog?
I don't remember Smile Dog.
Okay, I need to ask you this. Were you a kid who had supervised internet control, or were you a kid who was like, who got access to all of the internet with no limitations?
I didn't really have many limitations. Like, but the thing is, I didn't really have access to internet a lot when I was little. I mean, except for when I was in computer lab class in elementary school. And even obviously that, I guess I could say in my early years of school, I had a controlled internet experience, which I think was really good for me. And
look at me.
And then in middle school, I started getting on, the family computer more and looking up stuff. And that's when I discovered some of my favorite creators on YouTube and stuff like that, like in 2015 and everything. Yeah. So I guess, in the beginning, I had a controlled internet experience. And then as I got older, I had less like supervision.
See, I was given an iPad at the age of 8 with nothing, with no limitations. So I kind of went down a lot of rabbit holes. I think that explains who I am and probably a bunch of my friends and a bunch of people who are just a bunch of people given an iPad or an iPod at the age of 8 with no like time limits, no like parental controls.
Dang.
So Smile Dog is this thing that happened in 2000. It was this image of a dog. I think that's the original. But then they changed it a bit more to have this. And it became one of those like email copy things where you're like, send this to 10 people or you'll die tomorrow.
Yeah. A lot of email was another way that those kind of like spooky rumors spread easily. And
it's like that. Like, I feel like every 5 years there's going to be another Smile Dog, another Talking Angela, another Momo, another
Slender Man.
Exactly.
And the sad thing is, it's just gonna get worse, and kids are gonna be more scared of the internet.
I feel like more scared. Which I don't feel like they're less scared personally because, well, I feel like I have a bias because I don't keep up with this stuff. I see the image, I'm like, oh, okay. I don't know how it is in like the parental children world where they're freaking out over this image that terrifying their children and parents are freaking out about the internet.
Well, I guess what I should say is that because kids are getting access to the internet earlier in life now, like, our cousins like at my cousin at age 5 and your cousin at age...
He turned 3.
Like,
he visited like in 2021. We gave him an iPhone and he was having the time of his life. Yeah,
like kids getting the access, uncontrolled access to the internet early in life is always terrible, always bad, always results in bad things. Okay, you're not bad. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying it's not good for you. Honestly, in middle school, if you asked me, I'd say no. I should have been given open access to the internet when I was little. No, I shouldn't have, and I'm glad that I wasn't, because it cemented good skills in regards to like browsing the internet safely. But I think that because kids are getting access to the internet earlier in life, they're going to experience those really scary moments in life where like those like scary internet phenomena earlier. So it's not really going to change as far as like the impact, but it's just going to happen earlier for them and they'll be wiser to it earlier.
Is that bad?
I don't know. Cause there's a whole argument about like, censoring things for kids versus not censoring, because it's like, should you not tell kids what swear words are, or should you censor swear words? Because like, eventually they're going to learn them anyway.
Yeah. Like some kid taught me at the age of like 2nd grade. He just went, we were in my backyard and he's like, tomorrow in like 3 days, I'll tell you what swear words are. like I feel like limiting, like there's some stuff where you just can't limit it.
It's like, like I think honestly, like, I don't know. Censorship is a funny thing. There are obvious things that should be censored for kids at a young age.
Yeah, like, we're not experts at this.
But we're not experts, and we're not claiming to be. But like, something simple as just swearing in like in a sitcom or something, or just like some show like being censored or like bleeped out, or just like where they like dub over it with a different word that's so obviously not the original word the person said. Maybe that's a good thing, but at the same time, if you don't want your kids seeing that media, maybe you just don't show them that media. Or if you do, but you don't want them repeating what they hear, you just sit them down and have an actual chat with them and saying, hey, you're going to hear these words in life. You shouldn't really say them to people, and all that. Like, I think I err on the side of just lower amounts of censorship and more amounts of education on what you would potentially be censoring.
Yeah, it's like you advise them. You let them know the existence, because blocking out the existence is not going to... blocking out the existence isn't going to fix the issue.
Yeah.
Because they'll always find it. It's like trying to block out information. It's like they're always going to get it.
Well, it's like, extremely religious families not letting their kids read Harry Potter.
They're going to read Harry Potter.
They're going to read Harry Potter as soon as they get out of the house.
It's like banning it. You're going to add this like element of like, ooh, that's why like banning swear words. That's why the little kids who like don't say swear words, they're like, I know a swear word and
I'm going to swear. No, it's like the kids that were sent like they weren't taught swear words by their parents. They're the same kids who like say fuck in middle school.
I was that kid.
Really?
I was the kid who dropped the
F-bomb?
The F-bomb every sentence.
The F brigade?
Yeah, like try to sound like, I don't know, it's not trying to sound cool, it just sounds...
Well, think about this. Like
rebellious. It's like rebellious almost.
A lot of humor in middle school is really just shock humor, because, at points in my life, I felt that feeling of like I'm with my friends and I need to impress them, so I keep upping the ante of the humor or whatever we're talking about. Like, oh, they didn't laugh as much at this thing, so I'm going to try to be more edgy in middle school, because, a lot of kids just kind of do that naturally just because they want to earn the respect from their friends. But yeah, so you're saying you're the kid that would drop the F-bomb in middle school?
Elementary school.
In elementary school? Dude, why are you in here? Why are you in jail? Yeah, I murdered someone. Why are you in here? Oh, I robbed a bank. I said the F word in elementary school.
This is gonna be prisons in 2030.
Oh, in Biden's America.
2030. Soon.
But no, yeah. I just think it's I had a lot of friends in middle school who would say frick.
Frick?
Yeah. They wouldn't go all the way.
Like, I respect those people, but it like I feel bad, but like it's kind of funny. It's like it's weird hearing them say frick.
It's like they want to be taken, they want to be seen as adults, so they want to have more mature language, but they don't want to seem like, I don't know, like edgy. So they try to find a nice middle ground. And I'm like, if you're going to curse, just go either curse or don't. Like, you don't need a middle ground.
There was this one guy, the guy, are you kidding me? Mr. Sweater Vest guy, if you will. Mr.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't know if we talked about it last episode.
We'll call this guy, we're referring to a guy from our high school. Let's call him Sweater Vest.
It's called Vest. Yeah, Sweater Vest.
Sweater Vest.
He was that guy in senior year as well. Like,
really? Like,
I was about to graduate and he was still saying like words like crud. And like, I respect that. But like, at the same time, you're almost 8. I should not be giving out this advice. I am not old enough.
Well, but, it's like I'm...
But like, dude, just say it. Who's stopping? Like, it's manners, but like, have some fun. It's a...
Yeah. Well, at the same time, though, just naturally, my swearing is just not part of my vernacular.
Yeah,
like you don't see me, cursing up a storm.
Yeah, look at me, mouth of a sailor.
Yeah, like, and I guess sometimes I do fall into the thing where I'm like, oh, what the heck, But like, I mean, realistically, it doesn't really matter. It doesn't matter. Like, as long as you're not like trying to openly offend people, you can speak how you want.
Yeah.
It's just like, and then it goes back to that whole debate where like, if you curse in front of kids, or is it going to scar them for life? Should we censor that? Mm-hmm. It's like, I don't know. I think growing up, I did have this kind of weird assumption kind of drilled into me that when people would curse in public, I immediately had to assume that they were like unintelligent based off how I was raised, and that, or they were bad people.
But that's unfair.
But that's not fair. That's not, life isn't black and white. There are grays in life. And so it's, I think that's to our point, kids should be advised, not censored.
Exactly.
When it comes to swearing, because then you lead to people like me when I'm little, like assuming that people are bad because of their language. But yeah, it's funny. Anyway, what the frick were we talking about?
Better Call Saul.
Better Call Saul. But man, oh jeez.
Better cheese. I feel like since Joey's in here, we can talk about a bit more stuff because we're about to finish season 2. We're on the finale. We're about to watch and like there's this really cool thing. Do you know about the season 2 secret title?
Season 2 secret title? No, I do not.
All right. This is a pretty cool thing, and slight spoilers for Better Call Saul.
Okay,
I'm going on Netflix, and it's season 2 Better Call. So I'll tell you the first small gimmick. All the titles in season 1 end with an O, besides episode 5 because they couldn't get the title cleared. It's supposed to be titled Jello. BC like 5-0, Bingo, Rico, Pimento. Then look at season 2. This is like insane. Like slight spoilers. But with the memes and everything, look at this. F R I N G. Where's S? Can you help me find S?
Wait, I'm confused.
S. It spells out a word. It spells out a phrase.
With the first letters?
If you arrange them in a certain way, it spells out frings back.
Oh.
Remember at the end of episode 10, in the middle of episode 10, where Mike gets a note that says stop?
Oh, yeah.
So in the titles, they foreshadow the return of Gus Fring.
I would have never picked up on that.
I didn't pick up on it until I watched the podcast and stuff on the internet.
It's cool.
Mm-hmm.
See, I'm hoping that in a few minutes when we watch the next episode of season 6 that we're on, I'm hoping that Slender Man will make an appearance.
Like Jimmy has to represent Slender Man after killing 3 kids.
Yeah. Your Honor, my client, he has tentacles.
Aren't you glad he left a few survivors?
That would be his argument. He's not as bad as he could be.
It's like, come on.
He made because he existed, a lot of people made really funny skits about him.
Yeah.
I remember in middle school, before we end it, a friend of mine, I was in 6th grade, she was in 8th grade. She was watching I don't know if this person was on Vine or on YouTube, but they were like, it was like, the video was like, tea with Slenderman. And it's like, and the joke was that like Slenderman was like a normal guy, and then they're like drinking tea. And it's like, oh, so how was your work day? Pretty good. How's the wife? And that's like the whole joke. And at the end, he like attacks the guy because he's Slenderman, and that was like the whole skit. I remember her laughing butt off. Like it was so funny.
Like it was the first time like a joke's ever been made.
Exactly. And I was like, what's so funny? And she's like, watch this video. And I didn't really get what was so funny.
Do you get it now?
I get it now. It's hilarious. But I was like, ha 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 ha.
I just remember like PewDiePie playing Slenderman, and I was just terrified. Like, anytime I remember this one like Slender custom map, and every time I watched the video, I'd like emotionally prepare myself.
Honestly, I
think that's why they put child ratings on games, because like it is truly stressful stuff.
No, I couldn't. To be completely honest, I don't play many horror games.
Yeah,
so I'll watch people play horror games and I'll laugh at it, but I can't play horror games by myself.
My friend played FNAF over the summer, 2021, and anytime he played it, I always looked away when he was about to get jump scared because I just don't like getting scared like that.
When my cousin introduced me to FNAF 1, I couldn't play it. I had to watch her play it because I couldn't do it.
Same thing. I got FNAF on my iPad, and I could only beat the first night because it's the easiest night. Then I tried to do night 2. I'm like, nope.
For context, I was really young when I was absolutely terrified of playing FNAF 1. But to be fair,
I still am.
I still am. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not about to play that game without someone else playing it for me.
Not my cup of tea.
It's not my cup of tea.
Not my cup of.
Tea with Slenderman. Epic 2015 YouTube sketch.
I think Chillcast should bring back Slender Man.
We'll make the next episode a special where we invite him on.
If you're like.
We should film a sketch where we just have someone dressed up like in a Party City Slenderman outfit. It's like terrible.
Oh yeah, I forgot. Isn't Slenderman technically mainstream? And he has a movie about him.
They made a god awful movie about him.
Yeah, where they have YouTube, but it's titled something else. I don't remember what it's called. And I think at this point, there's like Jeff the Killer cosplays at Party City, so we could just buy a Slenderman suit, which we're not because Slenderman is real. And
yeah, we don't want to piss him off.
Yeah.
He doesn't like people taking his street cred.
Just someone it's like Slenderman cosplayed and Slenderman actually walks in. The idea should not. I'm like thinking about it. It's like the funniest thing, but it's like sensory video level of humor.
Yeah, dude. Okay, for Halloween. Okay. Oh no. Before we end it, odds are, Halloween night you dress up like Slenderman.
No.
We gotta go trick or treating.
I terrorize little kids and I get.
He's real.
Do you have a butterfinger?
You got a butterfinger?
How about a Kit Kat?
No. I ain't even surprised someone as ugly as you don't got no Snickers for the kids.
Me ugly? Every time I look at your face, I get the rice and gravy shits.